Hey guys, time for another weekly crystal mission quest, and for some reason we get Reks Lost Chapters once again. Pretty sure we had this stage not too long ago because I did complete this stage with a blue crystal team. Anyway, due to the mechanics of this stage, I decided to go with an off-turn team featuring the red crystal party of Beatrix, Firion, and 7. Off-turn team would do particularly well on this stage. For one reason, the boss is completely immune to delays and turn deletion, so they tend to get their turns quite frequently and you don't have to worry about your bricks delaying the bosses. Secondly, when the boss hits their HP gates at 69, 39% and 29%, they will do a triggered attack, and if you bring a counter attacker such as Beatrix, those triggered attacks will also trigger Beatrix's counter. Do take note though that you can only bring water or thunder element to this stage. If you bring any other element to this stage, they will counter your attack with Gear Slash Plus, which will dispel all your buffs, so you don't want to bring other elements. On top of this, the boss's force time on this stage is particularly punishing because they will auto heal 80% of the damage that they take in their force time, which essentially cuts your damage to just 20%. Since it is pretty difficult to hit force weakness on this stage, it's built mainly around Reks FR, and obviously if you have Reks, I would recommend to use him. I didn't pull for him, so I had to do without Reks. But if you can't hit force weakness, the best way to go about it is just to win the force gauge race. For this reason, I combine Beatrix's BT mode here, as you can see, as well as summon mode. To help you charge summon, what I did is simply use Rain's LD and base call. That is enough to charge almost all of the summon mode, and the resulting turns after that is enough to charge the full summon gauge. The summon of choice, and this stage actually matters, the summon of choice is Bahamut. Because the bosses counter elemental attacks, you don't want to bring a summon like Ifrit or Brothers, because the final attack in that summon mode will trigger a counter attack from the boss. Bahamut Summon does have benefits on this stage as well. It allows you to spam EX inside summon mode, which at least allows you to do somewhat decent damage before you enter force time. Something that I need to also mention is that I did remove speed passives on both Beatrix and Firion, and I can't remember whether I removed any from 7. What I remember is that I did leave the starting speed up passive so that 7 will start first in the fight. Other than that, you should be removing all other speed passives on the characters. I will list the speed passives that I removed in the video description. I immediately enter summon mode here to prevent the bosses from further charging their force gauge. One thing to help you a little bit on your damage when you enter force time later is to save both Beatrix and Firion's second EX, which means that inside summon mode you can use one EX first for each of them and then subsequently save their EX. You don't need to save 7's EX because you'll be particularly using her echoes later on. Take this time in summon mode also in case you need to also refresh any buffs. For this reason also, I had Firion use his S2 because his S2 does give him a couple of buffs. Now that you are out of summon mode, the next order of business is to go for Beatrix FR, and it does come pretty close because you do need to wait for Beatrix to get her turn obviously, And this is the reason why I did not set any call abilities on both Firion and Beatrix. You really don't need to, they don't really impact this strategy as much, and using call abilities just help the boss to charge their force gauge, so it's really not recommended. I also don't use any additional ability on both Firion and Beatrix for the same reason. Now the key to finish this stage in one force time is to not waste damage. This stage has HP gates at 69% and 39% health. So when I say don't waste damage, I mean save your FR Echoes and Beatrix BT+. If you are near to one of the 69 or 39% gates, try to use those harder hitting attacks when you are past the HP gates, so that you don't waste precious damage. And it does matter here. For example, if the boss is at 70% and you do a Force Echoes attack, the Force Echoes attack will only bring the boss to 69%. So essentially you've just wasted your echoes and only deal 1% of the boss's health in damage. I use one of 7's echoes here because the bosses does have enough room. They are pretty far from the next HP gate. And anyway, 7 has 2 use of her echoes, so you might as well use 1 now. With Beatrix here, I did not use her echoes because I am pretty close to the HP gates. So instead I just opted to use her EX to try to bring them as close as possible to the gates. The timing is pretty nice because here the bosses get a bunch of turns, and it is actually ideal if a counter attack brings the boss to the HP gates, because obviously your counter attacks deal the least damage compared, at least relatively compared to your regular attacks. So there is less wastage of damage if you let your counters bring the boss to the HP gates. Now that I'm past the 69% gates, the next gate is all the way at 39%, so this is another great time to use 7's echoes because you will get the full damage out of it. Likewise, this is also a great time to use Beatrix FR. The goal, I guess, is to bring them as quickly as possible to the 39% HP gates, or as close to it as possible, because as you can see here, the bosses get another round of attacks, and as before, if your counter attacks can bring them to the gate, that would be ideal. If you've come this far, the rest is pretty simple. You have 4 force time turns and you have 3 character turns before the bosses get to act, so you can get in another round of counter attacks, which should help you finish off the fight. So that's it for this run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shiryu fight. Bye!